Swung low, kind of gung-ho, kind of you idea. That's what Camaro means. Take the wheel and drive your spirits higher when you wield this dream car named Desire.
By late 1964, Chevrolet was designing their answer to the infamous Ford Mustang. This process began with the XP836 design study that would produce scale models that didn't run out of artistic materials such as clay, balsa wood, and fiberglass.
Two-dimensional drawings must be translated into three-dimensional clay models. In the case of the XP836, it is decided to go to a full-size clay mock-up.
While this is going on, mock-ups of parts and components are fitted into a wooden framework of the F-car.
A full-scale fiberglass model. It won't run, but it looks enough like the real thing to fool an expert.
When this process was completed in the winter of 1965, the potential drivetrains were tested in aesthetically modified Chevy 2 X-Car Novas because of the component similarities. At the same time, Fisher Body was working on sheet model tooling that would utilize full-scale sheet metal modeling techniques for the coaches that they would end up supplying to Chevrolet. When these processes were refined and readied for test manufacture, the program was then tasked with the hand building of the first working prototypes. This process would ultimately create 52 working pilot prototypes for the F-Car manufacturing platform, the first Camaros.
Prototypes that do run are next on the schedule. Time for the showdown.
These cars would spark the longest and fiercest rivalry to ever come out of Detroit, the Chevrolet Camaro versus the Ford Mustang.
Camaro, the new car that's something else, something you've never seen before in a driving machine.
N100031, the accessory Jacksonville sales convention car, was delivered by Fisher Body on June 6 of 1966 as Fisher Body Kit DD39D. Like all F-Body pilot prototypes at Norwood, it started its hand-built assembly in consecutive VIN number order as the 31st build of the engineering and manufacturing study. One of three on Fleet and Special Order 5-3 made for Sales Convention of Jacksonville. It carried model number 12667. This red-on-black Camaro convertible was the 10th convertible ever built. With a 327 cubic inch power plant and a Power Glide transmission, an impressive ownership history, as well as its original condition, make this an important piece of pre-production Camaro history. It was required to be received by R.J. Jones at Chevrolet of Atlanta on or around August 8th of 1966 for photo shoots and promotional use. NCRS certificates show number 31 being shipped to the South Bend Zone office, Zone 45, where it was used as a company promotional vehicle shortly thereafter until its sale to its first owner. That's where our story takes on a personal flair. The two cars that were shipped to the South Bend Zone office, number 31 being one of them, were showcased in smaller, regional, new product line showcases and sales promotions. After the formal release of this new product line to dealers in late September of 1966, these two pilot prototypes were utilized by the managers of the South Bend Zone office for promotional use. The two managers of the South Bend Zone office, John Ryan and Bill Van Hull, were instructed to drive these two cars every day and create awareness locally. These two men were golfing companions with Ralph Kenyon, and when the promotional days of these two cars had run their course, shared the fact that these cars were to be returned to corporate or sold locally. Ralph Kenyon had a daughter, Kay, who was a senior in high school and jumped at the chance to buy number 31 as a graduation present for her. The car was sold as a pre-done deal with internal factory work orders through participating dealer Van Gates Chevrolet of South Bend. Kay drove the car to Drake and Indiana University and traversed the country with her new husband, Bruce Marshall. Number 31 became impractical when their first child was born in 1973. So the young couple returned the Camaro to Ralph, her father, who owned it until 1981. Ralph would ultimately sell the car to Bruce Wheeler, who had owned the car for 26 years. During his curatorship, the car underwent a full restoration and was shown at many national events. In the absence of the research of Pilot Car Registry and the factory documents that were procured by author Phil Boris in 2010, the car's historical significance was not fully understood. That's where our story takes a heartfelt turn. Believing in the historical significance but unable to prove it, Bruce called the original owner and returned ownership to its rightful provenance in Kay's garage in 2007. They would continue the search for the car's historical significance unfruitfully until 2014. The current owner of N100031, Brent Miller, promised to continue their quest and curatorship. He fittingly accomplished this endeavor with the research of Logan Lawson and the volunteers of Pilot Car Registry. It was authenticated by Pilot Car Registry and now possesses the historical significance that it always deserved.